Alrighty guys, it's that time again. I'm ready to get it rolling right here with another 3.12 League Starter video build. You know, I know it's early, but we have seen the developer manifesto, so we know that there are going to be some nerfs and that there's not too many buffs as of yet. I feel that all of these builds listed here are going to be excellent League Starters and are going to take you all the way to the end. First on the list is Liftingnerdbro's Frostbolt totems. Yes, that's right, we're doing a totem build this time. So this build can be kind of interchanged. You can do Frostbolt, you can do Freezing Pulse, you can do Glacial Cascade. Any of those ice skills, I think with the way the elements are going to change, is probably going to be a lot stronger this time around, especially with the freeze mechanic being in place. You know, all of his build guides are pretty in-depth, pretty up-to-date, tons of gameplay videos, POBs, and walkthroughs on itemization. He always does a great job in all the builds he picks, and it's why I try to always include one of his builds in my video. I have mad respect for the guy. This is going to be extremely strong, I believe, in Heist when you're trying to get out and get out alive. You're going to have the defense layer with your freeze and tons of clear with it as well. Totems are always really easy to gear. You can rock this at about 4k life or even make the move to low life and run energy shield, while also having the ability to just destroy multiple bosses in the game. Next up on the list, we have Ghazzy's ED and Contagion Trickster. Can be started at level 12 and scales the entire way up. Without any noticeable nerfs as of yet, and with the rework in the way curses work, this build looks like it's going to be extremely strong once again for a league start. I've played it a couple times and it scales like a dream. The chaos investment is entirely up to you. However strong you want to make this build, it will scale and scale and scale for days. The only major downside is that the playstyle itself may not be for you. You have to, you have to fire Essence Drain and then you have to spread it via Contagion. There's many other workarounds around this where you can use either Soul Rend or you can use Bane, which is supposed to be maybe even stronger this league because of all the curse reworks. So we're just going to have to play with that and see, but I think a Chaos Dot build is going to be insanely strong on a league start. Oh yeah, guys, we're doing a necromancer build. So here we have K's Race Spectre necromancer. We're going to do it with this variation with slave drivers because we did see the nerf to redemption sentries and we don't know what that means. We also got confirmed that they are going to make a lot of the heist mobs be able to be converted into specters. So there's a big potential for several new specters to come out of that are even stronger than slave drivers. I really think this is going to be a great start. It always is, while also having the potential to just go astronomical in terms of damage. K has about 16,000 different variations of this build, so you can run it any way that you want, from max block. With the new Glancing Blows rework, I think the only viable way to do that is if you have recovery on block. We know that Mistress of Sacrifice did get nerfed, but this build is still insanely strong. I think all of the Race Spectres and all of the Necromancers are still going to be in the top 20% as far as ascendancies go. If you haven't ever played a Race Spectre build, give it a try. No other game has done summons like Path of Exile is. It is A+. And next up, we have another Cyclone build. That's right, guys. We had to include a Cyclone as a league starter because it's just still that good. You have the defensive layer because you're constantly moving, insane AoE, great scaling via Impale, and it can be just built a multitude of ways. The last time that I ran Cyclone, I did it as a max block gladiator, scaling it with face breakers. And I did it as a Metamorph league start. I'm not even going to credit anybody with this build because there's 1,000 of them out there. If you want to play Cyclone, do a little bit of digging or come into the Twitch chat and we can talk about it. Well, Count, I don't really like to play melee builds. I'm just too scared to get close. Well, that's why we're giving you a Cyclone build. Look at the range on this that you can get. Look at the mobility that you can get and all the tankiness. Guys, melee is in a better spot now than it's ever been. It's still not where we want it to be in terms of scaling with spells, but it's getting better every single league. And of course, we're going to shamelessly plug one of my own builds here. We have a Herald of Agony Juggernaut. So the way that I played this was I went Quill Rain for the insane attack speed, and I used Rain of Arrows and Barrage. I also took advantage of Thief's Torment for the insane life gain on hit, where you're basically just face tanking everything that you come across, while still scaling insane damage via your Agony Crawler. Obviously, Herald of Agony can be played a multitude of ways as well. This was my favorite way to play it. It had that little bit of range element to it where you're kind of just sitting in the back, but the life gain on hit and the abuse from Quill Rain made this so tanky. I was able to get up to like 8,000 life, 8 endurance charges every single time, and with Barrage, you're just annihilating monsters. So we know that Enduring Cry got a little bit of a nerf, but it's now still extremely strong. It's still a great buff, and I still think that it's extremely viable to use. And I'm leaning pretty heavily on doing this as my league starter just because I know how cheap the gear is. Quill Rain 6 Link is extremely easy to get. Thief's Torments, it will take you all the way through. It's by far the tankiest build I've ever had, while still maintaining relatively good clear speed and great boss damage. So we know that in the heist mechanic that the only way you're really going to quote-unquote fail it is if you die. So even if you're setting off all the alarms, as long as you're not dying, you're going to make it out and you're going to get those rewards. And I think that we're going to see a lot of tanky builds come to the forefront, especially early on in the league. Alrighty guys, that's going to wrap it up for our 3.12 League Start video build. Obviously there's tons of things that you guys can do, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the Twitch chat.